I'm ready. I'm as ready as I can be on my work computer, which thankfully, as I tweeted. So welcome to Granblue Radio. This is episode 325.
Hey, this
This
time we have the overlay correctly.
I do have the correct overlay. I actually spent some time on this one because my benevolent employer allows me to install OBS and customize it and stream for some reason. They're very
Yeah, that's
it's
weird.
very lax IT policies, I think. But anyway, so DJ, welcome back. I
Yeah.
hear that you underwent some ninja training while you were in Japan.
I beat Shaka that score. I'll let you know that right now because I found out how the thing works midway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shaka said that he's not even hitting Genin yet, right? He's just like,
Yeah.
So DJ's back from Japan. Welcome back. I actually skipped a week because, among other things, I decided to take last Thursday off for both mental rest as
Oh,
well
I need to go.
as
I need to go right there. I open tabs for those other characters then.
yeah the NBA playoffs. Yeah, so um, let us begin, shall we? It's the beginning of June. We have that's me opening the wrong text file. This is the real one. We have a new event. Did you actually read this event, by the way, or no?
Haven't gone to it yet.
Okay, I highly recommend it. Also, this is it's one of the best events in quite a while, and it's in contention with things like Mole Troop and it's been a good year for GBF events in general.
Yeah,
Um,
no. When the event came up, I looked at
mhm,
Pocky because we went to dinner together,
mhm.
and I'm like, I'll need to read this sometime later.
Yeah, and this is the shocking thing to me is that so the Magnificent Mole Troop, right? It's another Shakespeare styled event, but it makes Falstaff like interesting and palatable to a modern audience. If you don't remember Falstaff from Shakespeare, he is like a womanizing piece of garbage. And then um, when modernizing Falstaff for their own game, Thigh Games was like, what if he was still a piece of garbage but knew it? And was very nervous about that. And I'm like, that's really good. Well done. People loved that character. Anyway, and then we had this one, which is actually an adaptation of an Ursula K. Le Guin short story. It's only 5 pages long, so I recommend reading it after you read this one. Um, it is a very interesting, like utopian science fiction piece where eventually like the narrator goes, fine, you expect dystopia, here's dystopia, have it. Okay, it's really cool. Anyway, this is a very good adaptation. I enjoyed it, and GBF did its thing where it took a joke character of Drusilla, who's been stuck in our jail for almost a decade, like it's 7 years.
She can attack now.
She can attack now, and she knows where her bird is. She found her bird.
Wasn't that the bird always on like her hat or something?
That's correct. But anyway, so do you want to start with the new characters or the characters I skipped from last week?
The ones you skipped because that way we go in timeline.
All right. So here we have Wind Lily, um, and Wind Lily operates very much like Water Lily, but she has a very
She's Lily.
yeah. She's definitely Lily, but in wind. Like this is there's no hiding this part. So let's start with that. Um, she has the Earth damage reduction based on crests here that she has in her. Actually, is her water version healing specs or is it damage reduction? Let me look. I have forgotten what her backline passive is
Damage
because
restriction.
so it is the same one. All right, and
It's just
then
there's not an additional 10% defense.
that's right. All right, and then so she's got crests, like she's got crests on her CA, she's got a crest on her skill one, just like her original one. Um, Instead of damage cut, it is now armor and revitalize on skill one, along with white her reactive heal. Um,
So the armor is closer to being her holiday version, but instead of 150, it's 70% chance for 30, I think.
mhm. And then she got refresh. She's got the reactive heal that gets rid of a debuff. The improvement that they've made here is that she removes a debuff. Um, Let me see here. And then her skill 3 is it's very different from her skill 2 as a water character. So it's 10 hits of wind damage, which, plays well with beaks and all of the other toys that wind likes to have. It dispels 5 times.
Look at these United bosses, man.
Yeah, and it heals everybody for 10k on a red button, and it can only be used when 5 crests are on Lily. And her own crest generation is actually very slow. It's on like a 7 turn cooldown on skill 1, and it's on her CA. So on her own devices, it'll be like turn 9 or 10 or something like that. Which,
Except you're in wind.
yeah, exactly. Here in Wind, you can play with other crest characters.
You don't even have to play with their crest characters. You can play Seiphon. Anyone who
Also
gets
true.
meter.
Yeah, also true. Also true. And then the last thing is based on the number of times they've had White Gift cast on them, which is
Well,
when a debuff is removed.
specifically when it's removed, what gift
Hmm.
is the heal itself.
Right. So the uh, the Springtime Smile buff doesn't do anything on its own. Like its tooltip just says, look at her support skill, and so whenever it actually removes a debuff, Springtime Smile says they get first revitalize permanently, which is pretty neat. Then they get a boost to CA meter,
20%,
and then they get a boost to their CA specs on the third one.
30-10.
Yeah. So this character is basically once again like a full auto safety queen. She will do a ton of work in Unite and Fight Nightmare. She does very little in Siegfried. Actually, she heals, but that's it. Anyway, but yeah, like that's it. What we said at the beginning is applicable to what we say now. She's Lily, but she's in Wind now.
She technically has a better cooldown on her
Skill
reactive
one.
heal
Hmm.
by 1 turn.
Yeah, the reactive heal. Yeah, the skill itself, the Verdurous Barrier, isn't as abusable in exchange for the heal being better. So it's a trade.
I kind of like the trade. Also,
Yeah.
if you remove debuff, you just get 30 meter for all allies.
Hmm. This is true.
And that's only the first time out there. Second time, you get 36 meter
Right. That's
minimum.
right. Hmm. So it's pretty cool. I like the design of Lily as a character there.
I
I
don't understand the 30% dodge rate up on a character that doesn't do anything with dodging.
She's just I think they just wanted a different kind of defense on Lily because you'll note that she doesn't have Veil this time.
I mean, you don't want Veil.
Yeah,
You
you
want to have
want to
a debuff to remove.
yeah, exactly. Um, she doesn't have like gravity this time like Lily like the Holiday Lily does. So I think they just wanted to try something new. I'm trying to remember what wind characters want to dodge a lot and get
Monica.
bonuses. Yeah, that's right. Um,
Uh,
Grand Monty.
mm, what's his face? Well, he doesn't fight himself already. Randall does.
Oh yeah, that's right. He already does it by himself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what character like I think it's just a nice extra thing as opposed to like what her kit's built around. She's already reducing a bunch of damage from the armor and from the wind reduction, or sorry, the earth damage reduction that she gets from her passive. So they're like, we'll try this one. Oops, wrong character.
She's the only one that
Yeah,
gets it from a CA.
yeah, that's true. So it's a separate buff. Uh,
Yeah, I'm looking at charge attacks, and there's two in water, which is Millie and Silva.
mhm. Yeah, wind mostly has gain mirror image on CA. Like there's at least 2 or 3 characters I can think of who give it to everybody on CA, which Earth bosses have started to be built around. They're like, yeah, we'll let you mirror image a few of these, but not everything, because you got like Petra and I think Carmelina mirror images everybody on CA. Does Tiamat do it
Hmm.
on CA?
Probably. I don't remember. Let me see.
No, she gives a crest. She gives everybody mirror image on her skills rather than on her CA. Anyway,
I'm looking at. There's so many winning characters that just have a dodge button,
yeah,
including Mew's first years. I totally forgot about that.
I'd forgotten as well. The only skill I remember from any Muse character is Phalanx because it was a story beat.
It's the ultimate idol skill.
It's true. All right, so we've got Icarus here as the other character who came out. The thing that
Congrats,
made
EGT.
Icarus, yeah, it's like congratulations, Ichiki meets a hero who has gone from being like a rank 350 Skyfarer and getting invited just for that to actually acting, and so now they can finally have a name in parentheses next to his name. Um, but yeah, let's skip right to the part that matters, which is Primal Sword Deimos, which is once he has 5 Hellfire crests and he presses this button. Well, he gets to press this button. He gets for 3 turns Fire Chaser, Double Strike for 3 turns, Debuff Resist, um, Dispel Cancel, and he also sets himself on fire.
I'm
That
looking
part,
at the chaser that he gets from Primal Sword Deimos. It's 90% chaser
yeah, that's a big number. That's like the Narmea number.
on a character who can double strike.
Mm-hmm. His debuff resistance boosted is actually full immunity, and it's yeah. So that's
And just considering that he needs 5 crests, he will
mhm.
have these abilities along with because of Way of the Warrior.
Yeah. So we go straight down to Way of the Warrior. So um, he's always immune to Petrify, so he can always gain meter. And then in order, based on his Hellfire crests, he gets attack up,
30% normal,
uh, boosted defense,
100%.
always multi attacks,
So always guaranteed DA.
supplemented damage,
10k for hit.
which given that he's giving himself 90% chaser and double striking, is a minimum of 12 hits a turn
We'll have to go
on
back
those
to skill
turns.
2 in a bit.
Yeah. Um, amplified normal attack.
20%, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then the last part here, he secretly has the status as the 3rd fire evoker because when he goes back to front, he just gets 5 crests, and so he can press this button immediately. And then
Yeah.
after that, he presses the other skills. So yeah, um, let's look at these. He gets local petrify. He has singed synergies with all the singed characters. He himself does not actually care about singe. He just provides it.
Yeah.
And then here's his one of his ways to generate crests for himself if he starts in front. But you get 1 turn of triple attacks. You get Hellfire, the single Hellfire crest, and then he attacks out of turn.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
6 turn 2 cooldown too is not that bad on a free cheat your attack a turn.
yeah. And then the last thing is like his other way of generating a crest for himself if he doesn't use back to front is his CA, pretty standard. And then there's a little boost to its specs against anything with petrified, and
50-30.
which is a slightly higher than we expected. A lot of the time it's like 30-10. That's just like the
Well,
number they like to throw. But
granted that the petrify is never going to stick,
yeah,
even later on,
hmm
especially later on.
yeah. But the thing is that like this actually fills a niche because right now, back to front in fire, you get Frau, who is control and healing and dispels, right?
And becomes a real character when she actually does this.
Right, but she's not like full offense on that. She just and then like, do you remember what Aladon's back to front passive is? I
Heck
actually
no.
don't.
That character is either a front character or a backline character.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to look up what his back to front passive is again because I've honestly forgotten. Blessed Radiance. They get a boost to defense, and they get drain.
50% and 800 drain.
That's so bad. They are going to have to do some serious work on this when they give him his 5-star. And so yeah, like this is a niche where he comes out from the back line and he just kicks ass. And so yeah, there's some fun Icarus uses out there. This is a cool design. I like it. Like I'm trying to think of who actually comes out from the back line as an evoker and immediately just starts just hitting like a truck. I think it's Geisenborger only, isn't it?
Geisenberger can. The thing is that Geisenberger doesn't really care about coming back in front.
That's true. Yeah. Going back to front gives him quad attack, basically. I think, right? Like that's what
Yeah, but
unlocks quad
he
attack.
has to CA first.
Yeah, you're right. And so that's not immediate
Or use
either.
some of the star.
Yeah. Like yeah. So this is a cool niche. This wasn't something that you had before, and that's just cool. I like it. Um,
Uh, you could run him back to front. I'd rather run him front with Michael because Michael would provide so much for him. Michael has the part where if you don't take damage, you get increased meter gain and chaser.
mhm.
She can also just give CA to him immediately, so he's already like off to the races.
Yeah, because he gets 1 from his own button. He gets 2 from that CA reactivate. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I see both of these doing really well. Like, and then with 3 crests, he's always double attacking after his guaranteed TA turn, and then it's really, really easy to get fire crests.
Yeah, I would run it like Michael one run do the CA, then
Mm-hmm.
do two, and then his skill two.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. These are both very valid ways of playing, and I think that that's good that you can play both. All right. Anything else to say about our boy Icarus?
Character's cool. I wish and you'll read his story later when I get him.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
All
I
right.
have no idea who I'm spending my next surprise ticket on, anyways.
Well,
Oh, that'd
yeah.
be next one.
Next. I know who I'm gonna do on mine, but we're not gonna bury that. Yeah, we're gonna bury that for a little bit longer. I mean, because we're moving on to Drusilla, who gets out of our jail and into. If you want her, it's fine. We're gonna go really quickly. This character hasn't seen the light of day in 7 years.
And now she
Uh,
has an event.
she has an event. Um, so there's a few things in here that are just one of those like we haven't seen anybody roll for her for her kit. It's because she's Drusilla that people would roll for her. We mostly have seen the Harvin specialists go after this, but let's take a look. So she has. We're going to start with this. She has a resource, the VIP ticket. She starts with 2 of them, and the way that she gets them back is by doing Lady Set Go, which is her CA, and then
I like this resource better than my own rupees.
yeah, that's fair. Her other thing is every time that she actually uses those, she gets a celebrity status, and celebrity status is defense and multi attack um, up to 5 stacks, and the defense is 50% at max stack, so it's 10% per stack. The DA up is 7% per stack, and the TA up is 4% per stack. So after you have used her skills many times, then she has passive 50% defense, 35 DA, 20 TA. That's not good. I'm not going to try and justify this. It's not good. There's a bunch of ways to give yourself 100% defense, blah, blah, blah. But the other things that she does are so she has a healing CA. It is not a damage CA. It heals everyone for 2,000 plus shielding for 3,000. She gets that VIP ticket back, and she has been built so that she gets a 1 turn cut to her skill cooldowns. So these numbers are pretty fake on her cooldowns, but she's also balanced around that. So here's Afternoon Tea. It is 2 different skills. It is either a heal, which is a
5,000 heal.
yep, which 5,000 to everybody, pretty decent. And it also, with a VIP ticket, removes all debuffs.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, there are a lot of things where it's like there's too many debuffs on me.
Mm-hmm. Then the other one is Elegance is Everything is the other option, and it just says all light allies gain guaranteed TA,
One time.
and with a VIP ticket, she gives you 30% bonus damage, like Chaser.
Also one time.
Yeah. And it
If it
has an
wasn't one time, this would be broken. But because it's one time, you only get to use it once per like cheating attacks.
mm-hmm. And then here's Only the Finest. So Only the Finest is a pretty cool ability. So it's attack and defense down on a 4 turn local debuff.
Yep,
Uh,
25% for both.
but the important part is that it gives damage supplement, which is 30k at max. Uh, the other characters who have this kind of thing in light, there's Grand Jean, there's Transcended to like at least 130 or so, Tuyen. I think it's her Pinpoint Prey. I think is her 130 upgrade. Let me see. It is her 130, yeah. And then like Hallowell and Maluel Summer.
Yeah,
So,
it's also bigger than a lot of those ones.
mm-hmm,
Since usually those are around 10k, this is a 30k, but this is also doesn't last forever.
right. The
Also can't be extended.
yeah. So that's something that she has that is not available unless you put some pretty significant resources into it. So that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
it's a low turn thing.
Yeah. And then the last thing that she has is I'll give it my all. It has a 0 turn cooldown. It does 3 hits of damage. It dispels, and every time she does it, the hit number increases up to 5 times, I believe. So
A maximum 8 hits.
yeah,
This would be better if VIP ticket wasn't limited to only 2.
yeah,
If
yeah.
the VIP ticket was like 4, this would be great.
Hmm.
Because then you could just stock it up when you need to constantly remove buffs.
Yeah, and then the thing is that since it has a 0 turn cooldown as well, it doesn't do anything with her CA, and so yeah, there's a few things that don't really quite work with this, but it's okay. She's out of jail. She is no longer a joke character.
She has
Congratulations,
20. She
Drusilla.
has 20% charge speed up.
Mm-hmm. Where is that on her EMPs?
EMPs.
Okay. Yeah. At least she doesn't use your rupees. But this is one of those things where they did it to um, evoke flavor rather than get anything powerful necessarily. And then
I mean, she's not supposed to be a powerful character. She's supposed to be like a child.
she is a child. It's true. Meanwhile, so let's go into the one that everybody's like, okay, this is the star. Welcome to water, Korwa. She is no longer just wind.
Yep, she finally escaped when all it took was us having someone replace her for a while.
Mm-hmm. And now she gets to be in events again. She gets to she's really good in the event also. But
When did Jessica come out again?
Jessica was like
Because
mid last year.
that's when we replaced the voice.
Yeah, let's take a look at short hair Jessica. She was released September of last year, so it's been 9 months.
9 months. Okay.
Yeah. So here we have Korwa, and she's got a bunch of like recognizably Korwa things with the numbers and the types of buff shuffled around. So we're going to start with the field mechanic. She starts with 6. She gains 1 every turn, and she gets 3 back when she CAs. So
Shows she's Korwa.
this is the resource system that you're going to work with. Um, a lot of the things that we've seen for this Korwa are one turn things, just because, like I said, like you said, she's Korwa. Um, so the main reason that people are looking at this Korwa and going, okay, yeah, is her skill one. So skill one, she gives an unremovable water attack up, which stacks with every other water attack up because it's a unique icon. It's
which is
a
50%.
50%. Um,
Pretty good if you're double Verna or double Levy.
mhm. Um, here's the what relatively unique thing. I only know of one other character who has it, which is Grand Narmea. It's piercing sight, which is any elemental damage you deal is treated as superior. So yeah, it gets to do all sorts of fun things. You've seen all of those videos of Grand Narmea against the world. It gives cap up, which is I think 15%.
15.
Yeah, and she gives a mild amount of chaser. It's actually
It's
pretty tame.
20% on superior damage specifically, which
Hmm.
means it also works with Lucio.
Right. That's the big thing, is that it stacks with Summer Lucio. So everything about this character screams like basically the all of those strategies that turbocharge the main character. She's just as good at it as she is in Wind, mostly from this button. The rest of it is once again shuffled around and still good. Like we have her skill two, the defensive one. It's um, permanent defense up, which is, let's see here, how big is the defense
100%.
up? 100%, yeah. It gives a 5,000 shield, dispel cancel for 3 turns, and damage mitigation 3k for 3 turns.
Mitigation is really good. All these cooldowns actually become one turns instead of two turns when they're
Hmm.
plus.
Yeah,
So if you have the resources, you can fill it out.
yeah. And then the Korwa reward for getting to 10 feel, if you decide to use this, is that at 10 feel, you can choose to give your entire water team double strike, as opposed to, I think it's assassin for the other Korwas.
Well, I think that's only one Korra that does that.
Oh, that's right. It's Summer Korwa.
Yeah, because Summer Korra is unfair,
Yeah, this is true.
especially compared to
Regular
current
Korwa.
base Korra,
Yeah.
which is that you have to keep reapplying stuff until you are able to just see it over and over again and keep it up on people.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, other Korra is we have a really good thing that's permanent from for each button, and then another bonus thing afterwards.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, her CA, it's a heal to your team, which is 2,500. Nothing to really to write home about. It then gives them drain, which is a 500, is it? No, it's a 1k. It gives them the strength buff, and then, yeah. Um, the last thing here is that she has a natural method of gaining extra meter so she can feel again with the perfect ender. So if she didn't take damage, she gets a boost to her meter, which lets her CA again, which gives her more field generation, etc. But most
In
of
water, you do have ways. You have literary characters that say, "Look at me."
mhm, there's a lot of them too. Or
Yeah,
you can just put up the stop sign with, say, someone um, like let's see, Andre for example does 100 cut to everybody. There's like,
he does 100 twice.
yeah, he does. There's also like all of the subs that you were talking about. You have Shalem with the stop sign that just says nobody's taking damage this turn. A bunch of things like that. So you can just give her meter if you want. And the uh, the main thing is that a lot of the use for her is once again in this skill one. Like, it immediately pays off dividends, and you just turbocharge your MC. Right now, I believe in the videos I've seen, she's taken Zeta's spot in MC turbocharge strategies. So you bring like Summer Clarice, Summer Lucio, and Korwa now instead of Zeta, and you press one extra button. And yeah, like, this is definitely, like, I've always liked Korwa as a story character and as a like very cool. um, combination of like character and design. Uh, the original thing they did in 2016 with the release of Korwa, that's a separate thing. We don't talk about that much anymore. It's just one of those legends of GBF mistakes. But this
It's
one's
okay
really
now.
cool.
Nowadays, that's actually just normal.
Yeah, the main thing was back then they're like, we've done this too fast. And these days it's like 7 years have passed. I think this is okay now.
Yeah, that thing's fair compared to the stuff we have nowadays. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but at the time, like didn't have. There's been 7 years of like, um, just giving us more toys to play with.
The one thing I really like is the piercing sight,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that unlike Narmaya, you could just give it to somebody else.
Yes,
I would like to give this to Poseidon with another chaser,
it's so
and
good. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'll also point out that her weapon here, the exuberant lance, um, what is it? In Japanese, it's called the happy endorphin. But in this, I'm
yeah,
just
it's called
laughing.
Happy Endorphin.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm laughing at here is just that's like I have given a lance a skirt. Are you going to say anything about it? Good. It's one of my favorite weapon designs in a while.
It
It's
is
very
not. It is no ornamental piece.
yeah, it is very Princess Connect, I think. Anyway, so those are the characters. We also have a bit of choreogra to go over. So, one moment while I bring up choreogra. So we have June, and June is going to be like a lot of the stuff that happens in June happens early for once. They are not backloading the month. Um, and so let me bring up choreogra and
Thank God too. It was really hot when I was over there. I felt it was summer.
do. Here we are. So here is choreograph for the month. So the first thing is, in a week we're going to have Tales of Arcarum. They're rushing this one out because the same day as Tales of Arcarum for Astariola, his uncap comes out
Woo.
along with uh, along with Nier. Would you like to make any kinds of called shots for these characters' skill fours, or no? Do you not have any idea?
Astoriella would do something reactively.
I was thinking that they press a button, let you press a button to wake him up again, and it restores some of his old functionality. But I don't know if they would want to do that. Maybe,
His old
yeah,
functionality was that he woke up and he can press the buttons.
yeah.
That was kind of it was kind of pretty bad back then.
It was. Um, and then so yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Um, and then on June 9th, which is not Father's Day, by the way, uh, we're going to have Agielba with his uncap, one of the oldest characters remaining who doesn't have an uncap yet. So Carmelita's still waiting for hers, but Agielba was the oldest fire character, I think, who didn't get this yet. And once again, like they had to replace his actor, rest in peace, Ishizuka Unsho. But here we go. We've got that coming. There's the Tales of Arcarum stuff. A minor update on the 7th where full auto will no longer keep trying to press Valentine's Grimnir skill 2 and all other skills like that, or like Shiva skill 4. It'll just say like, oh, I can't press this button yet, so I won't. Yay! Um, a few little things like the friend cap going up, being able to save list settings, etc. Um,
Frank Cap is going to be nice because I keep hitting Cap.
yeah, there's going to be a few. They're promising more updates to the beta raid finder, which are mostly going to be backend changes, so it's hard for us to talk about those. Here's the last thing, DJ. So we finally have a date for the Granblue Fantasy versus Rising online beta, which is mid-July. And then we got to see some of these mechanics going. We got to see Siegfried.
Oh man,
I'm
I can't wait for guard primers.
Yeah, battle points basically being guard primers. DJ, what do you think about that one?
There you don't get guard broken from normals, so
You don't get guard broken from normals. You
you
cannot
have to
be.
you have to use a specific mechanic to do it, and also you have to have it depleted first off, and it was from like successful hits, wasn't it?
And not just that, but in this one, you can only guard crush them when they are not in block stun from something else. So you cannot say toss out a delayed projectile and then force them to block it and put them into an uncrushable, like an unavoidable situation. So that's good.
Isn't there a guard cancel mechanic they added?
I
Yeah, there
believe,
was.
yeah, this is the Brave counter. You can
But
attack out of guard.
it costs the resource, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
it costs that battle point, or sorry, the bravery point.
It costs 50 meters, and my guard point, so I'm fine with that.
Hmm. But
Look,
yeah,
I had to deal with Lychee 6H with, or 6C as Tager, where it broke two guard fibers.
yeah, and then also the other thing was that you couldn't do anything about it, right? Because you were already in block stun from the other BS that she was doing.
It's full screen. It didn't matter.
Oh
I couldn't do
jeez.
anything in the first place.
Oh jeez. But yeah, they've put a lot of thought into this, which is good. It's important.
Yeah, it all depends on like how the GP or BP system actually works in practice.
Also true.
Like so, it'll definitely be one of the cases where a lot of there will be some characters who actually can take advantage of more. That is always the case. AKA look at I want to call it drive rush. It's not drive rush.
It's called
Whatever it's
rush.
called.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rush mechanic where Jita and Percival used it best for a while at least, and then they specifically added options for other characters out of rush to even things out.
And even then, they still use it the best.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Well, it's not fair, but you know, it is a fair assessment that you have made. That's what I mean. Um, but yeah, so we'll be able to actually play a bit of Rising in mid-July after we've like world toured our hearts out in Street Fighter 6. I I am a bit sad that my Street Fighter 6 time has been delayed by my PC dying. Like I could buy it on my PS5, but I'd rather play it on my PC. Unfortunate. All sorts of unfortunate things.
I'd rather not have my PC clogged with more games that have 50 gigs.
I mean, I'm actually close to out of room on PS5, and I have to start doing that. So I mean, I understand. It's just in a different spot for me. Anyway, but yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining me, DJ. Thanks for hanging with me. For those of you who are back, uh, thanks to Henry, who's going to be putting this on YouTube with a week's delay. Well, a week that we didn't do this. I mean, is what I meant. But yeah, oops, boop. That's it for this week. Thanks
Until
everybody.
then,
Yeah, next week we're going to be talking about Evoker uncaps. Oh baby, that'll be
we'll
fun
find out how
actually.
that works.
Yeah, we'll see. They're batting 50%. All
That's not a
right.
good sign.
No.
There's only 10.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. DJ, thanks for hanging out. Um, I'm glad you're rested. Like you landed what yesterday?
I realized yesterday. The bad thing that happened today was I also fell asleep for 5 hours during work.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks everybody. Thanks DJ.
All right,
Catch you next
see
week.
you guys.